Hey guys, I'm gonna take out my gum. Hello, me again, with a slightly better hairdo and I look more rested than yesterday. I'm gonna talk about my amazing, quote the sarcasm, trip yesterday back home from seeing Kaylee, but first, I got another package in the mail, and I'm not going to show you the front side because it has my address and everything. It's from Canada, and I have an idea of what it is because I have a good idea, but here we go. I think it's a t-shirt that I ordered, but okay, I obviously can't open anything. Oh my. Yeah, I rock. Oh, it is one. Yay! Okay, wait. You guys probably, where's my iPod? Wait, there it is. Okay. Okay, first off, I have to show you why okay. Oh, let me show you the teacher first. Yay! Okay, now if you don't know, okay, one of the reasons I bought the shirt was, okay, here it is, because it's Rob's friend's. It's not his band, but he's a writer and he's a singer, and I think he helped Rob write "Never Think," and I saw Rob wearing it, and then on one of my pages, not my page, but one of the things on Facebook, like the fan page I liked, showed that you could buy this shirt. So I bought it the first chance I got. So yeah, I bought it, one, because I love the song Never Think, and two, Rob, it's one of his shirts that he wore, and it's just a cool shirt, and I love saying, and Rob, it's one of, you know what I mean? It's just like a shirt that he's worn, so it's kind of like cool, you know? So I have the Games shirt, which is one of Kristen's shirts that she's worn, and now I have a Rob type shirt. It's cool because all his shirts you can't find. Like, I see so many shirts that he wears, so many shirts that Kristen wears that I want to buy, but I can't find it, you know, and it sucks because, like, most of the shirts they buy are probably from thrift stores, and those thrift store shirts are a dime a dozen. You can't buy them. Like, once you get it, they're, you know, there's obviously not going to be there in regular stores. So this is cool. This is cool. So yeah, I probably, yeah, now everyone, I'm gonna wear this, and everyone, all my friends are gonna be like, "Who's Sam Bradley?" And I'm gonna have to explain, like, he helped Rob write one of his songs, and yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to listen to some of his music now because I don't feel right wearing the I'm probably not gonna feel right wearing the shirt until I've listened to some of his music and stuff. Besides Never Think, so yeah, this is cool. Anyway, let's talk about airplanes for a second. Okay, I flew with Southwest Airline, and if you don't know what Southwest is, it's basically like one of the cheapest airlines you can buy in America or anywhere else, if they fly anywhere else besides in the U.S. But I think they only fly in the U.S. But anyway, yesterday I was supposed to. My plane was supposed to take off at 10 o'clock. I got into on at the airport. We arrived at the airport. Me and Kaylee and her mom walked me into the airport. I said goodbye to her mom, and then Kaylee kind of walked me through to get my luggage checked in, and then we talked a little bit, and then we didn't cry. We just hugged, and I said, now you have to come to California, and I'm just like, I'm gonna miss you, and she's like, I'm gonna miss you too. You know, we hugged a lot, not a lot, but we hugged a few times. But seriously, I'm gonna miss her until I see her in real life again, or until we Skype again. I miss her. I mean, I talked to her last night, but I miss her. Anyway, so I got my bag. Okay, now this should have been an omen. This should have been an omen, but it was okay. So I go through the security. They have to check my carry-on, make sure there's no bombs in it, and so they had my two carry-ons were just my backpack, which had my magazines and a book and stuff like that, and then I had my laptop. I hate it when they do this. Like, take your laptop out of the case, and I'm like, ugh. So I had to take my laptop out of out of my messenger bag, which was a hassle. And I hate it. I hate taking it out because it's a hassle to get it back in because my laptop is, I mean, it's the same size. It's the bag and the laptop. The bag is a little bit bigger, but it's a hassle to get it back in because I have to. It's just a hassle. Anyway, so I take it out and I take my laptop and its cord out, and then I just put the bag in another thing. And so I go through security, I find my bag, and I find my laptop, and my laptop was in front of my messenger bag, and for seriously a minute, I couldn't find my messenger bag. I'm like, are you kidding me? I seriously just said it to myself, like, out loud. I'm like, are you kidding me? I kept, like, I'm, like, thinking, oh, maybe the security guard grabbed it and they put it somewhere and stuff like that. And then I'm like, someone probably took it, and at the moment, my iPod cord was in it, and I'm like, and my camera charger was in it, and I'm like, I'm not going through that again, because I already, don't even get me started on that. So I couldn't find it, and then finally it just appeared, and then finally I'm like, oh god, because it came out of the security thing. That should have been an omen for what was to come, because my day was just crap after that. I find out my flight has been canceled. I have to be rerouted. To another flight, which is earlier than 10 o'clock. I ended up going on a flight that was like at 9 something or other to go to Chicago. So we go to Chicago, and everyone gets out, and I find out that this plane wasn't going to LAX. Okay, which is where I'm supposed to go. It was going to Burbank or Oakland, which is way far away from where I live. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I told my dad this. He's like, okay, we'll just sit on the plane and I'll pick you up at Burbank. So I get off the phone with my dad. Literally, barely even a second after I get off the phone with my dad, this flight attendant comes up and she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to LA. She's like, oh, you're on the wrong plane. So they tell me to get off the plane. I follow this guy with a notebook, with a pad of paper. He looked really serious. So I go into Chicago. And so they get me, they change my flight. I'm going to LA. Actually, I have to stop in Kansas City. And then I stop there. And then I go to LA. And then finally, that plane ride to LA, I'm just like, I want to go home. I hate this. This day was complete shit. I just want to go home. I want to lay in my bed. So finally, I get to LAX. And I'm like, thank you, God. The problem is that my flight, after they changed my flight in Chicago, that flight was delayed. It was delayed because apparently there was a medical emergency before they arrived in Chicago. I'm like, God. So my flight was delayed. So when I get to LAX, I turn my phone on, because you have to turn your phone off when you're in a plane. Turn my phone on, and there's a message from my brother saying, where are you? Dad's really pissed. Because when I get to LAX, it's 3 o'clock. My original flight, my plane was supposed to take off at 10. I was supposed to arrive in LAX at 2. It was 3 o'clock when I got to LAX, which is great because that's basically close to when traffic is crap in LA. Traffic in LA is always crap, but still, it's like it's getting closer to the peak of crappy traffic or something, if that makes sense. So I have to text my dad. I text my brother, and I'm like, tell Dad my flight was delayed. It's not my fault. He shouldn't be pissed at me. Blah blah blah. So my brother basically thought that I think my dad thought that I was in LA and that I was just, not. Because my dad told me to just stand by the curb and he'll come pick me up at LAX. He probably thought that I was in LAX and I just wasn't at the curb and I was just inside somewhere or whatever. When in reality, when I got the text, I had just landed in LAX. Anyway, so I get off the plane. I call my brother. He's inside the building and we meet up, and then I have to wait to get my luggage. Oh, this is the beautiful part. So I finally have to wait because there's only 2 carousels for Southwest carry-on luggage, which is beautiful. So I have to wait for my flight number to show up. My flight number shows up, and I wait right at where the luggage comes down so I can grab it and go. My luggage didn't show up. I seriously waited, and I know what color it was. It was like a really, it was like a plum purple big suitcase. Oh yeah, by the way, I had to change my luggage. You know how I had that big back sack of crap or clothes? I had to change, my grandmother told me to change it to a suitcase because it was ripping. I found out that it was ripping, so I had to change luggage. Anyway, it wasn't there, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay. I was seriously, the thing was still moving, but no luggage was coming out. I'm like, okay, well, they're probably just, I'm like, maybe there's more. I just kept saying there's more, there's more, there's more. But then the thing stopped moving, and I'm like, what? So I went over to my brother, and I'm like, he's like, where's your suitcase? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, I'm going to go tell Dad, or I'm going to go find Dad. So he leaves, and then I'm just seriously walking. I walked along that freaking baggage claim for about, like 3 times. I'm like, where is my suitcase? And that's when I start to really have a panic attack, because my whole life was in that suitcase. Well, not my whole life, but most of my life was in there. My 13 DVD was in there. Books were in there. A library book was in there. My pills I have to take were in there. Mona, your shirt was in there that you made me, and I was like, really, like, that's my shirt. My favorite Converse was in there. Like, so much stuff was in there, and I was just like, oh my god. I was thinking someone must have stolen it, because my dad freaked me out when before I left. He's like, oh, luggage gets stolen in airports every day, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh great, my luggage just got stolen, or they lost my luggage, and I was freaking out, just spazzing. And then there's this other guy, I guess, who like left and then came back, and he was on his cell phone. He's like, I can't find my luggage, and he told one of the guys, he's like, oh, look over here, and there was like luggage like in a line, and I was just seriously, I'm like, okay, why don't I just check there instead of standing here about to cry and about to go psycho bitch on some people. So I went into this line, and I was crossing my fingers. I'm like, oh my god, please be there, please be there. Sure enough, it was there, and oh my god, you have no idea how happy I was. I honestly wanted to jump for joy, but I didn't, because we were in a crowded area and I would look like a crazy person and everything. But still, I was so happy. The minute I saw my writing, because I had to have a card that says, like, if my, like, Emily, blah, 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 lives on, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I saw my writing. I'm like, oh, thank you. I was so happy, and I was so, oh my god. But when I got into my dad's car, and I just looked at him, and I'm just like, I never want to fly, not ever again, but I don't want to fly for a very long time. I honestly don't. So if you want to see me or come visit me, you're going to have to come visit me in California, because I don't want to go on a plane for a very long time, because that whole day just strained me. And also on the plane, first, when I was on that first flight, there was a baby behind me, and it wouldn't shut up. It just wouldn't be quiet. I'm just like, really? I had my earbuds in, but oh my god. The dad tried to tell the kid to be quiet like 3 times, and then it just stopped. The baby didn't stop crying, but he just stopped caring. It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna let my kid cry. I'm like, are you kidding me? Put a muzzle on that damn thing. I love kids, but seriously, if I had a kid, I would knock it out. I wouldn't like punch it, but I would I'd give it like a sleeping pill to be like, shh, because I don't want to be rude to other people, because and then the second plane I had to take, there was a little boy behind me. He kept kicking the seat every 2 minutes. I timed it. After a while, I did decide to time it. Every 2 minutes, kick, and I just wanted to sock that kid in the face, and oh my god, I hate children. I mean, I love children, but then I hate them. I think it's because I'm young and I don't want kids right now, so I'm pretty sure when I'm 25, I'm going to be like, yay, and right now I'm like, they're evil, but you know what I mean. So, if you've ever had a really bad experience like I had on airplanes, please comment below. I got my t-shirt. I'm so happy I got my t-shirt. It's upside down, but I don't care. So, I'm going to go. Hope you enjoyed this really, really, really long rant about flying, because I freaking hate planes. Okay. Or Southwest in general. So, I'll see y'all later. Bye. That was weird.